Welcome to this live board session, everyone, where we're going to learn a little bit more about vSAN. And in this particular case, we're going to learn about the two optional architectures that exist in vSAN 8. That is going to be the original storage architecture in vSAN, as well as the new express storage architecture in vSAN, or the ESA.
The original storage architecture, you'll notice we have these constructs of disk groups, and you would have anywhere from 1 to 5, and you would have a caching device that was typically a higher performance device, higher endurance, and it handled the initial write acknowledgement. And then that data would move down, if it didn't quickly get overwritten, to the capacity tier. And the capacity tier is fundamentally where your raw capacity came from. But you had to have these dedicated, two different tiers. You had to have two different devices. And what's great about this is it accommodated a really wide variety of hardware across the generations. Starting with the early SSDs we used, that were these SATA SSDs that might have had a couple of thousand IOPS, to the more modern hardware, to where these devices really have a lot of capabilities. The NVMe and things. It's evolved quite a bit, but there was a need, to reevaluate the architecture and build something, for the newest and fastest types of devices.
Yeah, and that's where we've introduced the vSAN Express Storage Architecture. And this is really taking advantage of these new modern storage devices. It's really a hardware optimized architecture where we're able to take these NVMe-based storage devices and just create a fully high-performance storage system without having to build out explicit capacity tiers and performance tiers. So in this case, as way of comparison, what we have here is we have what's called a storage pool. And there can be one storage pool per host, but all of this is just aggregated into a single data store. So in that respect, vSAN behaves very much in the same way, but we introduce a tremendous cost of owner benefit here, because we don't have to allocate dedicated storage devices for the purposes of performance. We're able to push through so much performance and efficiency through the storage stack as a result of this new architecture.
And some of you may be looking at these architectures and saying, okay, so half the time I go this one, half the time I go this one. Really, we think that more and more, this is going to be the default architecture that's chosen for a number of reasons. One of which, the hardware optimization. It's able to process I/O with much less CPU overhead. There's been additional efficiency, improved efficiency capabilities in the form of new and improved compression that can compact data a lot tighter, as well as the fact that we no longer have these high-performance caching devices that are separate from our capacity tier. We're able to utilize the capacity of every single device. And we've done some napkin math, and we encourage you to do your own, but the cost per gigabyte is effectively lower on this architecture, while it is also faster, has improved operational simplicity because of the single storage pool versus the separate storage pools. The choice is going to very quickly, for many of you, move to this. But I will note, this does require there's a separate ready node group for this, and there's specific devices. So you're going to have to look for that hardware specifically.
But we've made this process fairly easy for you. When you're creating a brand new cluster, assuming that you have the approved hardware for the Express Storage Architecture, it's going to give you one of two options when you're creating the cluster. Would you like to use the original storage architecture found in previous versions of vSAN, as well as vSAN 8, or the Express Storage Architecture? And this is where you really have the option to transition into this overall new architecture. And these can all be managed by the very same vCenter server. So you can have a mix of these clusters all managed by that very same control plane, and that really offers the flexibility that many of our customers are looking for. If you would like to learn more about the Express Storage Architecture in vSAN 8, feel free to go out to core.vmware.com, where you can learn about all things related to vSAN. Thank you very much.